stuck here. I'm actually stuck in a freaking McDonald's drive-thru. Alright guys, welcome to another video, and starting off with some good news this time for a change, which by the way rarely ever happens if you own a Mercedes R-Class. I have made it back to Canada, and the E55 ASL has also made it back to Canada safely. But the R-Class, however, it's a whole different story, to be honest. The air suspension has failed again, and the AdBlue issue I still have to fix. But I'm going to be starting the repairs in the next video, and let's hope that that is the last video I have to make on the R-Class, and after that I really want to sell the car, get rid of it and move on. But anyways, yeah, this video is going to be about the journey of how I actually got this car over here back to Canada, because it hasn't really been easy. This video is actually going to be about taking this car, the E55 ASL, all the way to California. And after that, 3 minutes into the drive, the car literally stopped in the middle of the road. Crank it literally one time.
So here we are, update to our situation. We now have a second vehicle involved. Vehicle 2 low light is back on.
So the air suspension is gone now. The rear back of the car just sank down all the way.
So our pump works.
The good thing is that the R-Class is now randomly sitting high and properly. I believe the pump has failed again. The R-Class is, well, pretty much on the last leg, I would say. The air suspension sometimes goes up. Yeah, I'm just hoping it makes it to California, and then we can just replace the whole thing. It's not even been a minute since we thought we'd leave off, but the R-Class is already giving another issue, like driving forwards. There. Yeah, it's definitely engaging the rear brakes. That's what's going on. This car is literally trying to kill us.
I am not a fan.
It does not.
350.
It does not want to get us to California.
What's the Benz slogan? The best or nothing. I think we got stuck with the nothing part.
Definitely, yeah. We were driving through the mountains right now, and the only feature of the car that was still working, the navigation, that has broken down now.
And how it works for this application.
Here's the funny part. Right when I was removing this wheel speed sensor, this airbag has randomly started leaking again. Now you can see this hissing sound coming from this airbag. Oh shit, the tire pressure light is back on. I think we might actually have a full puncture in that rear tire then. I was driving somewhere through Texas right now, and well, from this point on it's just me for this road trip, because well, Peter, he never really made it. I had to drop him off at the airport. He took a flight back to Toronto. The R-Class has definitely taken its toll on us. We're one man down, one man barely keeping up. This fluid smells like crap, by the way. So while I was on my way to CarMax, there's another problem in the car already. Now the warning light says low beam right. So update to my situation. After talking to the DMV and looking into my options for selling this stupid R-Class, the hopes of leaving to Canada in a better car are looking really slim. It's definitely been the worst used car decision of my life. So as if things couldn't get any worse for this car, there's another message that just came up on the dash. It says AdBlue remaining starts 16. That means that there's definitely a problem in the AdBlue system. Even though I've added fluid and I've checked there is fluid in the system, the level sensor for some reason is not detecting any fluid, which is probably just the broken level sensor. But this means that I only have 16 starts left, and after that the car will not start again anymore. Well, I still have to drive this car all the way from Florida to Canada, and 16 starts, I'm not even sure if it's even going to get me to Canada now. Today is going to be the start of a really long and difficult journey back home, because I have to drive from Florida all the way to Canada, and the thing that makes it really difficult is that I have to do it in this car. This car has broken down literally every part of the way, driving from Canada to California first, and then from California to Texas to Florida finally, and now the car is at the point where it only has 14 starts left. That means that I can only start the car 14 times, and after that the car will die completely and it will not work again. So this trip in total is going to be 2,100 kilometers, and it's going to take me 2 days to cover the distance. The goal for today is to get to the midway point, which is somewhere in Virginia. And it's a 12-hour drive to get to the next hotel. It's always a nervous moment starting this car because it's an R-Class and you never know what happens next. Okay, so remaining starts 15. It hasn't counted down since the last time I started it, which is good. But it will count down. I'm pretty sure after a while the countdown is going to go down to 14, because at this point I should have 14 starts left. Now actually I've done the maths behind this, and if everything works fine, I should be able to make it back to Canada in 15 starts, because I've calculated that I will need 5 gas stops on the way, and 1 hotel stop, and 1 stop possibly at the border when I'm crossing over from Canada to the States. So that's 7 stops in total, so I should still have 7 stops left if this countdown timer works like it should be working. But I've been reading up on it, and what people say is that the countdown timer is extremely unreliable. Sometimes it randomly counts down 2 starts without even starting the car, and other times it does not even like count down at all. So 5 minutes into the trip, and the AdBlue counter has come in, and now I have remaining stops left 14. So remaining starts left 14. So I guess it takes a bit of a while for it to actually like go down after starting the car. But yeah, I really hope this counter doesn't like start decrementing counts just while the car is running, because it is a long distance that I'm driving, and I don't think anyone has covered this much of a distance before with this warning message on. So the first 10 hours of the drive were not too bad, but I just had to make sure not to take any unnecessary stops, because every stop I took counted as 1 less start on the start counter. So every time I stopped for gas was also when I stopped for food. And even when I stopped for food, I tried to use the drive-thru so I could keep the car running and not lose an extra start, but that came with its own challenges. I'm actually stuck in a freaking McDonald's drive-thru. My trailer is not clearing the curb because these stupid people decided to make drive-thru way too small. After that, it was a bit more night driving to get to the next fuel stop. Okay, 10 hours into the trip, and I stopped for fuel again because the car was out of fuel again, but everything else other than that is looking pretty good. I'm 2 hours from the hotel and somewhere in North Carolina right now, so the next state after this is Virginia, where I'm stopping over overnight, and that is going to be all the driving for today then. So yeah, surprisingly the car is doing pretty well. I already filled in fuel, so I turned it off and turned it back on, and the remaining starts are at 12, so the car is not cheating with the start, surprisingly. It's actually working just like it is, and the car has been surprisingly reliable too. Like all this trip so far, the car hasn't had any unsuspected problems like it usually does, which is, well, I don't want to say too much right now, because every time I say something good about this car, the car does something so stupid and horrible that I take everything back that I said about it. So okay, so I was just about to say something good about this car, that it's been reliable so far, and this is what the car does. Like, it hasn't even been 10 minutes since I left the gas station, and look at this. One of the turn signals has went out, and that's why this thing is clicking like this. I'm not sure which one. I have to get out of the car and find out. And the navigation is completely tripping out. Now the navigation on the car and the navigation on my phone are telling me 2 completely different things. My phone has also lost data. It's not getting any data over here, and considering the GPS is made by the same people that made the rest of the car, I definitely do not trust this car. I will go according to my cell phone, whatever that's saying. Nice, a tunnel. This car sounds like crap. Okay, it's 12:30 now, and I finally reached the hotel room, but that's not even the worst part of the news. The worst news is that when I looked at the start counter, it's down to 11. And I'm not sure how it got down to 11, because I'm pretty sure that it should have been at 12 at this point, because when I left Florida, I was at 14, and then I made 2 fuel stops after that, so that's 13 and 12. Where the hell did 11 come from? This is like one of those shitty video games where you only die 2 times, but you lose 3 lives for some reason. Yeah, now I pretty much have 11 lives left. This thing is literally like a ticking time bomb right now. As soon as this thing reaches 0, the car is gonna stop on the side of the road, and that is gonna be it. The worst part about this time bomb is that the freaking timer seems just as unreliable as the rest of the stupid car, so I don't even think I can trust this timer anymore. Like, what if I wake up tomorrow morning and it drops down to 5 or 2 all of a sudden? Then I'm completely screwed. Okay, so just had my free breakfast, which wasn't actually free in this hotel, but still it was a good breakfast, so that was good. But now I'm back in the R class, which is not good, and now it's time to actually start it and see how much more trouble this car gives me today. So yeah, this is the morning routine of every R class owner. Press the start button and hope the car starts, and then see how much more money you owe to the Mercedes-Benz dealership. So 2 messages. starts at 11, so that's good. It didn't cheat overnight and didn't cut the starts down. And trailer brake clamp, okay, that's fine too, because that brake clamp is actually not working. And I believe the turn signal would be doing this. What? It's, oh, okay, there. For a second I thought it was fixed, but no, it's not fixed. I still probably need to go get the trailer brake clamp. So that's the first thing I'm gonna check. I'm gonna check what type of bulb that is. Try to find an AutoZone or something nearby, change that, and then I'm gonna be on my way to Canada. Okay, so it does seem like we have two light bulbs that are out. One was this one, and one is the light bulb at the back over here for the brakes on the turn signal, so that's why the light was on. But the worst thing is that it's also started snowing now, and I did not cover the car today because, well, every time I put the car cover on, I can't drive the car too fast because the car cover rips after, like, if I drive faster than 120 or something. So that's why I wanted to cover the distance faster, but now the problem is that the car's out in the snow. So yeah, let's hope the snow stops. The forecast is only for like less than 1 centimeter of snow, so it can't be that much. But anyways, yeah, let's change the light bulbs and get back on the road. Okay, so the light bulbs are changed. Now all the lights on the trailer are actually working, and I don't want to turn the car off right now. So I'm just gonna get in the car and leave right away. The starts are at 10 right now, but I believe as soon as I start driving it's gonna go down to 9 now because of this extra stop at Auto Parts. But that's still not too bad, because 9 stops if this car doesn't cheat and if this car doesn't minus any unnecessary starts. I think it should get me to Canada, but I don't want to say that for now because literally every time I say something even slightly positive on this trip, something bad happens and the car does something stupid. Alright, just stopped for gas again, and the turn signal is tripping out again, and it's another light bulb on the trailer. Now, I think I probably have a spare light bulb that I did buy from the AutoZone, so let's change that. But it's weird why these trailer turn signals on the same side are tripping out every time. So, okay, replaced another light bulb. Now all the lights are working again, and also the turn signal on the car is working again. The bad thing is that I've spent 30 minutes on this fill up. So now I really got to get back on the road. The only thing about the E55 ASL is whenever you're driving with it, at every gas station there's a whole bunch of people that want to ask about the car, which is good because it's a good thing that people like the car so much, but then it wastes a lot of time telling people what it is and everything. But anyways, yeah, time to get back on the road. After this point though, the weather got horrible. That predicted less than 1 centimeter of snow was definitely not less than 1 centimeter. There was a whole snowstorm along the way and the visibility got super poor. There were some people pulling on the side of the highway, but when you have an R-Class you definitely don't want to pull over on the side of the highway, because the first time you pull over might be the last time you pull over, and that definitely wouldn't be a safe place to stop, so that's why I just kept driving. One thing I have to say about the R-Class though is that it did handle the snow really well. There were other cars that were sliding all over the place and stuff, and this car was pulling a trailer and still it had no problem at all in the snow. There were a few close calls, but nothing major really, so I just kept driving, and by the time I got to New York State, the weather had improved quite a lot. Okay, stopped for what is going to be the last fill up for this car, and this tank of gas should hopefully get me to Canada, well, all the way to my house pretty much. And according to the GPS we are only 2 hours, less than 2 hours away now, so that is amazing. The weather has been extremely horrible. It snowed, and it wasn't in the forecast, by the way. Like I checked the forecast like 3 days ago and it was supposed to be clear. Well, I didn't check the forecast for every single city along the way, but I checked the forecast for Canada and also some of the places in the middle, and there was supposed to be less than 1 centimeter of snow, but this wasn't less than 1 centimeter of snow. This was a ridiculous amount of snow, and I don't even want to go out and look at the E55 ASL. Holy crap, that is not good at all. But anyways, we're pretty close to Canada, so I guess when I go home the first thing I'm gonna do is clean up this car. I did cover all the exhaust and everything, so that's fine, nothing's gonna get water in it, but yeah, I'll need to give it a really good wash and get all this stupid salt off the car. Yeah, I think next thing on the list to do trips like this is going to be to get an enclosed trailer for this car. That's something this car really needs. with an open trailer, or at least a hard cover for the car, something that could cover the car and still like be driven fast on. So after that, a few minutes later, I had reached the Canadian border, and the R-Class, the parking sensors on it were tripping out randomly while waiting in line, so I turned those off, and I was really hoping the R-Class does not throw another problem and get me into more trouble while I was going through border security.
What's the nature of your trip?
For testing out the car.
Testing?
Yeah.
Is that like owned by you?
Yeah.
You have like a ownership right?
It's a risk car, so it doesn't have, it's not street legal, so it doesn't have a VIN number or anything.
How do I know that it came from Canada?
I have a YouTube channel on it. You can probably search that
Okay,
up.
how long have you had that?
A year?
You drive
Yeah.
that?
Oh, that car? Yeah, on the wrist track, yeah.
Okay,
you. Yeah, you too. And after that, even though it was hard to believe, but the R-Class ad officially made it back to Canada. Look at this, we're actually in Canada. There's snow everywhere, there's people driving in the left lane for no reason at all. Like all 3 lanes are empty and he's not even going that fast, but he still drives in the left lane. I'm so relieved to be back right now, like holy crap, I actually thought this car would not make it. And there's one message on the dash now that's just for the AdBlue, 7 starts remaining. I don't even care if it's a 1 start right now, because I know for sure that I'm gonna get home now. Holy crap, the E55 ASL is definitely not in the best condition right now, but too cold right now, I can't bother to do anything. I'm just gonna wait till tomorrow morning to clean up everything and offload the car and then bring it in the garage. I'm just gonna cover it up for now, but first I gotta go see my cat. I haven't seen that guy in like a whole month. Christy! Baby! Oh my god, he's so upset. Oh, cutest cat ever. And also there's one more thing that I gotta go see. That is my... Let me turn the lights on. Mercedes SL500, this car. Let's see if the SL starts after a month standing in the cold winter. See, starts up with no problem at all. No freaking error messages, no stupid AdBlue to take to the dealership after every 2 weeks. No problems at all, no check engine lights, no warning lights. This is what a proper Mercedes should be like. I think I've had this car for 8 years, and in the total 8 years I've owned this car, I have not had that many issues with this car as I've had with the R-Class in 2 months. The R-Class, by the way, is not a proper Mercedes. The R-Class is a piece of junk. It's a Happy Meal toy. You're supposed to just freaking take it out of the box, give it to your kids to play for 2 months, and then you just throw it in the garbage. Okay, it's the next day now, and the Canadian weather has given me a really warm welcome. It's snowing already, but anyways, now it's time to offload the E55 ASL, get it into the garage, and oh, and look at this! Just look at this! Would you believe it? The R-Class, the stupid R-Class, the ear suspension is sagged down again. That might, I don't know, that might be because of the cold, because it's really cold and it's coming from a warm place, so it might have sagged down because, well, the air inside it is, well, warmer air, and now it's... But then again, last night it was cold, so I don't know, maybe the air suspension is failing again. These are new R-Knot bags in it, by the way. Yeah, the other side is fine, so I don't know. Let's start the car up, see what it does. But anyways, I'm just glad that I don't have to rely on this car anymore. I don't even care if the car catches fire right now. I would just throw it in the trash. It is a piece of junk, this car. Like, it is literally a toy. This car is not meant to be driven. But anyways, yeah, now let's start off by offloading the E55 ASL, which I did cover overnight to save it from the snow, but I still need to do a lot of cleaning on it.
What's up?
Long time.
What's happening?
What do you think about the car?
I'm happy you got back here with it, man. Now it's time to post a couple ads up and get rid of it.
For sure, for sure. Well, first we gotta fix the problem, because like, I believe with 7 starts left, I don't think anyone's gonna buy this piece of junk.
7 starts left, yeah. You gotta make sure, you gotta filter the buyers right. Are you really ready to test drive this car, sir?
Yeah.
There's 7 starts left.
Yeah, only 7 people get to test drive it.
Cash in hand.
Yeah.
Oh, what a beautiful sight to see this car again in the trunk. I'm either looking at the trunk or I'm looking at the lights on the dash. That's the only thing I'm looking at. Either looking for tools or looking for what the problem is.
And after that, it was time to offload the E55 ASL and bring it back in. Now, one thing I have to say is that if you just leave the R-Class out of the equation, this whole trip has been absolutely amazing. The E55 ASL has performed way better than I expected. It was a newly built, untested car, and I took it all the way to California, abused it on all these different racetracks, and the only problems the car had was, well, one was I needed to add those bolts on the flex plate, and the other one was the turbo oil fitting that cracked. And it was just a $10 oil fitting that I placed outside an AutoZone, and that was it. After offloading the car, I couldn't help myself but take the car out for a bit of a test drive in the snow. After that, I gave the car a quick wash and looked over everything, making sure that everything was normal. And sure enough, because the car does not have the word R-Class anywhere in its name, everything was okay. So that is going to be everything for this video. The E55 ASL is now finally back in Canada, back to where it all started. And we're also talking about what's coming up next for the car. So the thing that I'll be starting work on next is going to be the bodywork of the car, actually finishing up on all the bodywork, making the car look exactly like it does in the design, finishing up on all the over body aerodynamics, adding fenders, adding the rear wing, and also, well, there's a few other things that I need to finish up on. There's a transmission shifting thing that I never really tested out on track. I got it working, but I never got it working to the point where I would feel confident enough to use it on the track. I wanted to add a few more potentiometers and work a bit more on the programming, basically, because, well, the first time when I made this in a bit of a rush. I only had 2 weeks to work on it. That's why I never really finish it completely, I would say, but there's still a bit more work left on it that I need to finish up on, and then hopefully get it to a point where I can actually test it out on track. And of course, this thing is going to make it a lot easier driving the car too, so I think it's going to help me as a driver. And of course, the shift times are going to come way lower because this thing can shift much faster than I can shift, so that's why it's definitely going to be a benefit. Also, some other things that I had to do in Florida that I didn't get to do. I had to change these tires. The car is still on the same tires that it was on before, and of course these tires are completely done now. They also have gone really hard because of all the heat cycles. I believe they're at 7 heat cycles right now. Usually the life of these tires is like 5 heat cycles, so yeah, I didn't get too much time in Florida, but I will be ordering those tires in, and hopefully before the next time I track this car, which is going to be sometime, I believe like by the end of April or something, I'll try to get it on new tires too. The other thing I had to do in Florida that I also didn't get to do was I had to meet up with Tavarish, Freddie. I had to help him out with his manual swap on his SL55, but the timing didn't work too well with him. When I was in Florida, he was not in Florida, so that's why we couldn't really meet up. But yeah, anyways, this is going to be everything for this video. The next video coming up, unfortunately, is going to be on the stupid R-Class again, because the R-Class has given me a few early Christmas presents now. The air suspension has stopped working. One side has sagged down, and I started up the car and I turned it back off, and the car side sags down again, so there's definitely another leak going on in the airmatic suspension, and I gotta find that out. And of course the AdBlue issue as well, that I gotta fix. So yeah, the next video coming up is unfortunately going to be about fixing those issues, but let's just hope that that's the last video I have to make on the R-Class. And after that I really want to get rid of it. But yeah, that's going to be everything for now. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.